Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and tonight's a little different. Tonight's show was 5 years in the making because it was half a decade ago that the Scarred Adventurer and myself responded to an ad, basically, asking for players in an online streamed game. We both applied, and our talented selves and two other talented peoples all got hired for what was supposed to be a joke second show, was supposed to be a gag, was supposed to be short running. But did we show the fuck out of them? Pardon my language. Now, here's the cool part. The other two people in tonight's game have been there since almost that long because the two of them came along to the other show, the main show on that channel, when the finest and wondrous and most talented of Canadians from Northern Alberta, the one and only Dingo Doodles, agreed to appear as a guest on that other show. These two fine, wonderful human beings watched that episode and thought these people are pretty cool, so they tuned in the next night to watch us. And the rest, as they say, is history. You're not that is true. That is true. Pardon me. Yeah. Well. We don't get very many intergalactic guests, so I tend to lump you in with the humans. I hope you'll take that as a compliment rather than an insult. But the two of them have been watching the two of us ever since. When we started, I think it's fair to say that the two of them showed certain elements of shyness. To the point where they were hardly even willing to type anything in chat and we hardly knew they existed. But they stuck around. And the neat thing about Twitch is you can see people, even if they don't talk. You can see who the lurkers are if you look. So they stuck around and they stuck around and they stuck around. 4.5 years later, we got one of them brave enough to come to the table by waving Cyberpunk Red under their nose. And since then, the mighty Kraken, the drug addicted hero of the cyberpunk dystopia, has been in play. And to put a complete wrap on the 5 year circle, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to say hello. And everybody else, everybody everywhere, whatever you identify, I would like you to say hello to our extraterrestrial friend, Kalina Hitana. It has taken 5 years to get you to stream with us. And I want to start with a little bit about what you've done in that 5 years. You went from the person who was so shy you would hardly type to typing, to being a regular person who was commenting in there, to switching over to when we went to and formed Dirty 20 Gaming right from the very beginning. You were one of our very first people to follow us over. You have always been here, always listened, showed up in the middle of the bloody night to play or to watch our games, and now to play with us. That's why we're a couple hours early than our regular games, but in some effort to get you and our friend from even further east to sleep before the sun comes up tomorrow. But Kalina, you were so tough. It was so hard to get you to the table. But then you started. You said you'd never have the bravery to do it, but then you started streaming on your own. And you're now a regular streamer with an audience and with people that love what you're doing and that watch you. Don't you try and I can see you. I can see you trying to back out from under this. And no, I knew where you were going already. For those of you that aren't looking at the screen right now, Kalina will be communicating us through type this show, and I will be doing my best to read it to you. I haven't got a regular schedule yet. I'm trying to work on it. That is what every streamer I have ever known in the history of the world says when you ask them what their streaming schedule is. So, welcome to the club. You are brave enough to do it by yourself online on Twitch without a big community to support you, and that is bravery beyond belief. But then you came to me one day and said, would you read something for me? In that charming way that you have of being ever so shy. And I read it, and it was amazing. And it is the inspiration for the show tonight. I'm going to cut it quickly to that because you created a subclass. It is the Primordial Arcana Warlock. And it is, I'll just, if I can read from your own document here, this class was inspired by Darkon's Elegy of Madness, a quest line in the Adventure Quest Worlds game. This is your take on how the Primordial Arcana from that quest line would function as a D&D subclass with additional flavor and function taken from the Fool's Journey and real-life tarot readings. You came to me and said, I'd like to play this character, one of these characters, this subclass in one of your games. And I went, hooray, I finally get to get Kalina on stream. And then I had an idea. 4 warlocks. We're going to have 3 of them tonight. The 4th will be with us next week due to scheduling issues. But 4 warlocks to bring the loop around to the original Too Many Warlocks games. Let's do a game with 4 warlocks, except they all have the same patron, and they are all taking different versions of this new subclass. So you're responsible for this wonderful story that we're about to tell on so many levels, and I am so happy that we finally got you on stream. But I'm not quite done yet because I want to read the base description of the Primordial Arcana. They were once a singular entity that hailed from unknown depths far beyond the mortal understanding of the universe. Despite their powers surpassing that of the gods themselves, an unknown disaster caused the being to be shattered, divided into 22 separate selves. Weakened by their division, many of the fragments would reach out to influence the lives of mortals, becoming the basis of the tarot deck used to define the past, the present, and the future. Few dare to listen closer, hearing the whispers of divine fragments themselves, and fewer still choose to aid them in exchange for their power. Many of the fragments desire to be whole once more, and must be summoned in a cycle, the cost growing ever greater. You can hide in embarrassment all you want. I'm going to send you links to the to the YouTube endlessly until you tell me you watched it. But the fool, unlike their brethren, merely wishes to see their warlock's journey to its ultimate end, no matter what that might be. So no matter what your journey as a warlock of the Primordial Arcana may hold, one thing is certain. The Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. So I read that and thought, oh, but this is, yeah, cool. So that's all the detail I'm going to give you about that. The rest will be revealed in play as soon as we get Kalina back on screen. Come out wherever you are. There you are. All right. That's enough gushing about that. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons 5e, which I haven't run for a very long time. 5 years it took us to get here. Let's do the thing. Let's introduce the people. The other warlock, who couldn't have been much more different than the one I played, but Scarred Adventurer. Tell us about yourself. Where can we find you when you're not here?
Well, when I'm not here on Fridays, you will find me here on on 4 out of 7 days of the week.
We only stream on 6 of those.
I know, that's terrifying. You'll find me on Tuesdays as Red Death in our Cyberpunk Red game. It's a very fun game. Come see it. You'll find me here on Wednesdays eventually as Fane Sampson. When we run up our Fatal Familiar game again.
Yep.
You'll see me here on Thursdays. I keep going through all the things and I keep mixing up the dates. Thursdays as Lucas Alexander Warcrest, my paladin, the antithesis of my warlock. Kind of.
Yeah.
They share aspects. Let's be honest. You'll find me here Fridays playing Rome. Now you'll also find me. Oh, I said 4. Well, it's kind of 4 at the moment. And then you'll find me Sundays running my own game, The Storied City, using City of Mist by Son of Oak Game Studios. It's quite a lot of fun. Come see us then as well. Otherwise, you can find me working with the wonderful Tangor Productions to bring stuff, and you can also find me working with Phoenix Tears in addition with Tangor Productions for our cool new show coming out, The Dawson Riddle, coming out. Our betas are next week, so the week after next week
Nice. Yeah.
are when you can actually start coming to see it. So, like, get those tickets.
Absolutely. And
Do
so
it.
that's an excellent time to pop this in here. You can find
And our
links to
Discord.
that
You can also
and
find
other
us
many,
on
many,
Discord.
many other things in our Discord. You should join it. We're really, really, really pleasant people.
I'm not, but everyone else is.
Well, as a whole, we are
You
very
are.
pleasant people. All right. Character art tonight was from Scarred's Fingers and or Hero Forge for the rest of you. Our background art is a deck of cards from a game that I had never heard of before. The art is from Pixabay. Let's... Oh, we didn't introduce you to other people. Jesus. What kind of a person am I? Brill! Brill, you have a thing. What else do you do? Holy shit, I got ahead of myself. This first scene is just
no
boiling out of my head
problem.
already. Go.
Yes, you just want to play, Kevin. It's not a problem. I totally understand you. Other than surviving in the cruel world, I also play the crazy Drekadult Kraken in our Cyberpunk Red game. And there is a few other projects that may or may not come in the future. And today I will play the ario, the getting older opera singer from inspired by the game Fallen London. I will try to write some paragraphs in the game section of our Discord someday, maybe.
Yeah, and the links,
My
I know
brain
they're
allows
already in
it.
our cast chat there, but if you want to pop those into the TTRPG
Yep.
section there, that would be cool too. Excellent. Which brings us around to, again, to our newest player, Brave Beyond Brave. I say this to everybody that comes here. Streaming is scary. I know, you know, because you do it. Streaming with other people is really scary. I know, you know, because you did it. I watched you do it just a little while ago. But we're going to do our very, very best to make you feel comfortable. But talking about those other streaming places, do you have a link to your channel where we can watch you on those days when you do stream? While you pop that in there, I will put this down. Perfect. It's in the chat. Excellent. Thank you so much. So now we can start. Everyone go follow, please do. And hello, Karis.
And a lot of
It is
Elden
so good
Ring
to see you. Did you notice
and a
that,
variety of other games.
Kalina?
from
Karis is here watching.
Kalina.
So, a lot of Elden Ring, but try to play a variety of games. Lots of people I know play lots of Elden Ring, and yeah, I don't
It's
because it
popular.
makes me very, very angry. The DLC
I've
that's why it
played
just
one
came out yet.
Souls-like. That's
I
just
just
that's as much as I can do.
I do. I get frustrated playing driving games. I don't need another way to get frustrated. The DLC
They,
came
they
out
are
not too
playing
long ago.
because
Yeah,
I know DLC.
since people are playing again, yeah, for sure. And as if I remember correctly, the DLC is massive, interesting, and very, very deadly. So,
Not
par
me,
for the
but
course.
I respect it.
Yeah. All right. It sure is. Yes. And you're doing. Wait a minute. I wanna take one more chance to pump your tires because you are doing. If I'm not mistaken, you're doing a melee only run through. Is that the plan?
I've been
Hand
doing
to hand focused.
Wow.
because
Wow.
because the original game wasn't frustrating enough as originally written. So
Mad respect.
had to wait for the DLC to get the actual hand to hand arts. Okay, right. Yes, the new skills. Yep.
Amazing.
Substitute with fist weapons in the meantime. Oh, That's one of the things. And if people like that sort of take on games, they should really go watch you, because every game you play it in an interesting and unique way. You don't just play through stuff. You do something weird like that. Weird in a good way. But here I go again, segueing. Speaking of weird in a good way, let's do this. Yes, and thank you, Karis, for reminding me. It is my focus and function tonight. One of the things I have to do is to realizing that a lot of people are just listening. I will be reading what Kalina types for us this evening. So let's get into it. Three figures. Shadows on shadows on shadows. Walk in through three knot doors, in knot walls, in a knot space, and sit down at a very real gaming table. We're not equipped to see what they look like. They're just shapes. And the first of the three, you can see their head move to the other two. There's a brief nod. The second one starts shuffling one deck, putting it down, picking up a second, shuffling that, putting it down, picking up a third, shuffling that, continuing to do that. And the third one sits in the darkness. It looks like they've got their elbows on the table and their head between their elbows, but for some reason they're also kind of got their thumbs out like this, almost like horns. And they're utterly focused on one deck in front of them. The first figure reaches down in front of them, picks up a beautifully crafted tarot deck. And as they shuffle it, they themselves sort of like the slices of a CAT scan filling in, except you never quite see what's there. You only see the slices. They grin, and you feel a voice. A bit of practice first. And first, one card is peeled off the deck and placed on the table. Rome. What were you doing? When and where in time were you when you just got snatched by your patron?
Ah, I wrote this down and then I moved a bunch of stuff. And now I found it. Fantastic.
I did pre-ask the players these questions so they'd have a chance to sort of set the tone for their characters with this.
So Rome is roaming the desert. He's just kind of he's wandering through. He has no real goal, no idea, no anything. And he's currently thinking. He's looking for meaning, for purpose, philosophical, a philosophical quest, essentially, just to try and find what he's doing.
Literally walking the desert looking for meaning. Beautiful.
Yeah, and yeah.
So you realize that this must have been your patron that grabbed you. Nobody else has got that kind of power. Which reminds you, what deal did you make with this patron, and why?
So, Rome is a mechanical man. So a large part of that is after the defeat of his old patron, essentially. Not in another warlock sense, just in the man that made him and used him and had him working as an archivist.
Yeah.
Simply just before the defeat of his patron, of his master, this wizard of some kind, Rome begins to think and therefore exist. For he thinks, therefore he is.
Yep.
And he realizes that this benefactor has now granted him sentience.
Well, given those two things, your answer to this next question is going to be different than most people. What was your reaction to being summoned? So as you're plummeting through space, I'm not even going to tell you where you land yet, but as you know, you're walking through the desert, and all of a sudden, there's no other thing that can be happening. Your patron is calling you. What is your thought process of being summoned?
Having been so desperate for meaning and for purpose and for something, he goes, "Ah, my benefactor once again is giving me more. Now my benefactor grants me glorious new purpose."
And you're just shining with metallic purpose as you slam to the ground. One of those impossible like bullet landings that does no damage. The ultimate dramatic entrance, just and the dust ring spreads from around your feet. You look around to find yourself standing in the ruins of a coliseum. It's seated thousands. And somehow you can still hear that rhythmic roar of the crowd that isn't here. What?
Clearly, my
Yeah.
benefactor has plans for me.
Yes.
He has not deigned to share them with me yet.
If there
But
was
soon all will
anybody,
become clear.
if there was anybody here to see it, what would they see? What does Rome look like?
Rome walks out of this dust cloud, just stepping forward, as if nothing had happened from his walking through the desert. Just
Yep.
shoom, boom, boom, and continues walking forward
Yep.
out of the dust cloud into this, so he can see the Colosseum a little better.
Yep.
And anything and anyone and any creature, being, thing that can see him now sees a metal man that looks a bit like a copyrighted Marvel character, dressed in these kind of very simple, sandy, kind of beige and just sandy colored robes of looking earthen, just walking through with this red steam that kind of seems to pour out of every opening that is on his body, such as the little kind of the little uh, gaps in his in between his knuckles,
Oh, the whole thing.
his mouth, his eyes. No nose, because why a nose?
Yeah. It's only you only need one if you need glasses, and yeah. But any
Yeah,
weapons?
he only needs one if he were to wear glasses.
Any
In his
visible
hand,
weapons? Yeah.
he's got a fairly simple rapier that he pulled from the corpse of his old master,
Yep.
strapped to his hip. He's wearing some fairly simple hide as well, armor wise.
Love it.
And he's got a long staff. Seems to have this kind of gnarled look that almost seems like a hand reaching out, grabbing something.
Nice. So as
Sitting
you
on his
step
back.
out of the dust, and remember, this is this is the low angle shot, the camera shot, as you step out of the dust, lit like backlit, and with all your gear showing around you. You hear again that roar of the crowd. That it sounds like blood, 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 blood. They're chanting. They're getting themselves wound up. It's like a football game, except it's ancient Roman sort of times, so it's a little more blatant. You hear that it's the long horn trumpets that they sound kind of hyper tinny, but they're still the trumpets that sound. And as you do, you see another person plummeting out of the sky. Ario Sub Rosa of the Neat, to give you your full title. What were you doing just a moment ago? Where were you doing it when you just got snatched?
Was 30 years ago, space bats at the cusp of 19th century took away London because the empress of the Great British Empire sold her city, her soul, to weird things from space to save her beloved.
Okay.
and everybody got put in a strange cave that broke the rules of reality, fallen London. And the parents of Ario were Polish nobles that wanted to get Poland back on the map because it was taken away by the neighbors.
Yeah.
They went on a failed revolution, and when weird things happened to London, they took away their kid and hid in this strange cave. And Ario, after years of helping them be a spy, became a famous opera singer, but he didn't take care of himself. So his voice got worse, but thanks to his new Patreon, he managed to do a one-man show of patients from Gilbert and Sullivan, doing all the 12 roles and the guards by himself using illusion magic and
Yeah.
that he got from the Ghost of the Tarot.
So that's
And
the
his
yeah.
amazing new voice that he got back with benefits.
So that's
Now
the
he,
why you. That's also answers our second question:
yeah,
what is the deal that you made and why?
because
Yeah.
he was feeling so old. He's in his late 30s. He isn't old, especially that you can live a very long time in the need, but he still feels that he's being upstaged by the younger actors.
Of course, the
And
actor's greatest
yeah,
fear, the next little bastard. Yep.
yeah, and that's the perfect time for my camera to give out.
That's okay.
If the
We
other actors, they are
we can just tell
jealous.
folks what a good opportunity for me to let folks
Yeah.
know we've had some issues with cameras and whatnot. So if
Yeah,
this
and
happens,
with
this happens, and
internet.
here we go.
So no more camera for today.
It's all good. Next
Yeah.
question: what was your reaction? You just did you just come off stage? Is that how
No,
that
I
worked?
was getting my flowers. It was the best performance in Mahogany Hall,
Okay.
and everybody was like cheering for me, giving me my flowers. And when I felt that I'm going away, finally going away from this crazy place with all the damn mushrooms, all the beds, all the weasels, all the stink, I am happy that I'm going away. Finally, flowers. Finally, normal surface fruit, and finally, sons who don't want to kill me because I played a little chess game with that one time. So
And
I'm
then
ecstatic, and I'm like, damn you all, damn the masters of bazaar, damn
yeah.
you mushrooms, damn you all stupid people, I'm going away, and damn stupid Queen Vicky. Needless to say, if I can't come back because I'm gonna be wanted dead on sight. So I'm
So
starting a new
you
life, and
just as you
I'm
start
very
to
happy
disappear, you
about it.
swear and curse your way into the
Yeah,
infinite void. You find yourself dropping through space, and you do the same thing too. That just sort of it's a hell of an entry. I mean, plummeting
yeah.
from space and slamming to the ground in the middle of a 20,000 seat coliseum is pretty impressive entrance.
That is a great, amazing stage for me, and I'm taking a bow
And
because the whole world is my stage.
as you start to stand back up, a weird thing happens. You realize you can't see anybody, but you can hear them. And then you can start to see their outlines. Rome, you see it as well. The crowd just starts to sort of thicken out of the mist and out of the sand and out of the dust of the two of your landings. You could start to see them forming. You can start to see the trumpeters standing there with their big long trumpets waiting to blow another blast on them. And there's a strange figure sitting where the emperor would sit that just won't come into focus. Ario, when Rome sees you land and the dust clears, what do they see?
Man, man in his 30s, way too much face makeup, face paint, lipstick, all the jazz
Yep,
in a neon green three-piece suit,
yep, as one
black,
does. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
black tap dance shoes, and lots of flowers in his hands.
Oh,
And
perfect.
he has long hair, three-color hair, and a ring with a crest on it.
So while this is I mean, this is a huge stage, possibly the largest stage you've ever performed on. I gotta say, Aereo does not fit. Right? I mean, this is like a Roman amphitheater, and you're suited and makeup and the whole bit. It's you stand
So,
out.
seeing that, he uses Mask of Many Faces to start to wear
Okay.
a purple toga.
Purple toga, gotcha. Zedna. What were you doing? Where were you at? And I have the answers here, and I'm going to read them. Zedna was in a tavern after another quest. What I'm going to ask you is, was that quest successful or not? Reflecting on the life that could have been. Ooh. So it was a successful quest. Yeah, thankfully. Good, good, good. Was it for your patron? I'm just going to ask some questions, some extra questions here. I know I got the big answers here, but I want to ask some other ones too. It was not. Okay. It was so it was on your own. Okay. Right. Thank you for reminding me. And it's actually the next line. What was the deal? Yes, they would not influence your journey in any way. That's why. That's perfect. Thank you. That's the perfect segue. Because your deal was that you got a new body. Yeah, you were gonna die. Well, actually, you know what? You tell it. You type quick. You type. I will talk. Your warlock pact. But yeah, it was very weird. You were basically dead, right? And then your patron brought you back, gave you a new body. Yeah. Made from their own flesh, yes, and housing their eyes. This was my favorite part. So their deal was you get to live, they get to ride. Right? Yeah, in exchange, they get to ride you and watch you have all your adventures. But they have no direct input, right? That was part of the deal. They only got to watch. So, when they, and you know it's them, starts pulling you out of that bar, away from that drink, and through space and time, what was your thought? I've got it written here, but I want to see it. Upon landing, yep. On the ground, yep. I love your immediate response is just scream out loud. This wasn't part of our deal, fool. So that's what the two of you see when it's slamming to the ground. This person stands up. Yep. There's you hear that wasn't part of our deal, fool. There's a short silence, and then, well, if it wasn't you, then who was it? So they're having a conversation with somebody the two of you can't see. But Zedna, when you finish this little conversation, it's clearly caused by your powers. Yes, indeed. If they didn't bring you here, they had something to do with it. It's definitely their fault. That's fair. You would know. They're in your head. But when you slam to the ground there, and stand up, the dust clears. Standing in front of the two of you, peeking out from underneath the armor and all the other equipment, you can see bandages wrapping fingers and wrist joints and things like that. It appears that all underneath is wrapped. But over that, a two-tone scale armor in red and black with these pale blue, green, turquoise highlights. You can see the character art as it's there. Anything specific you would like to add to that, Zedna, to that description? They're carrying a huge sword, massive, far too big for them to possibly carry. They're wielding it in one hand like there's nothing to it. I'm assuming you summoned your sword as soon as you landed or as you flew. Underneath the parts of your of the armor that are exposed, yeah, see bandages, layers and layers of bandages. They've got the face mask, very much like the witch doctor. The bandages are wrapped very, very tightly around their form. And the Serenity Blossoms, we are proud of her too. And this is, yeah. So, as you land and slam to the ground, uh, that's okay. I'm thousands and thousands of kilometers away from you, and I can see your blush on the horizon. I'm very, very happy to have you here. So, so happy. But as the dust clears and settles around the arena, it all becomes real. So Rome and Ario, you see them. The rest of the audience firms up, just like dunk, 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 dunk. And there's bums in seats, even in the seats that aren't there anymore because it's still a rune. But it's a full house, Ario. Like, full house. Standing room only. The three of you are out in the performance area, which is usually not a good thing. There is that.
Definitely a stage worth of my talents.
Yes, yeah. I can see you just trying to look in all directions at the same time, trying to perform in the round. But in that booth, that the Emperor's box, because that's clearly what it is, the lights have come up everywhere else except in there. In there, it's just a swirling gray and silver mass of flat surfaces spinning through space and time. And from it, a voice somehow comes out and says, I have broken the rules. We are breaking the rules. But first, perhaps some training. And the doors at the far end of the stadium slam up into the roof like portcullises. And slowly, one at a time, 4 figures walk out. The first one, full-size shield and a spear in the other hand, marching as though they're shoulder to shoulder with a dozen others, even though they aren't. Right behind that, a knight, but not on horseback, but still wearing full plate mail. There's something slick about them. There's something that says you shouldn't trust them. Behind that, a female officer of an army you've never seen before, covered in hearts and shrieking nonsense at the sky. And behind them all, as regal as can be, what is clearly a king, with a scepter with a diamond on top. That first guard, that first thing that came out, that first person, has on their shield a giant spade, like a playing card image. And they start to march towards you. The 4 of them are clearly intent on fighting the 3 of you. So I'm going to give you the chance to do one thing each, and then we're going to roll initiative. Rome, let's start with you.
I am going to essentially use one of my warlock spell slots
Okay.
to cast summon Shadow Spawn,
Okay.
which allows me to summon a unique monster named Creature 35.
Okay. Yep. Do you have the card for that?
I have
It's in the document, so yeah.
It's in the document, so yeah. I'm just looking at the document. That's how I'm doing it.
Quick aside: if you're going to create accounts, Twitch people, thank you for killing that. If you're going to create accounts designed to give you the best viewers things, maybe don't call it Stalker 188509. Just a thought. Yeah, thank you for banning them. All right. Yes, besides, like you said once before, it would just devalue the viewers. Yes, we have now.
Yeah.
So, Ron, you're casting this spell, so the creature is. Give us a creature pops up beside you. What does it look like?
It looks. I don't even know how to describe this very well. It looks it's on all fours, a bit like a hound would be, but the general shape of it is it's everything front shoulders forward seems mostly teeth,
Yeah.
with some eyes located in spots that they maybe shouldn't be exactly.
So definitely a creature of chaos. I love it. All right.
It looks like an eldritch abomination.
All right.
And let me be clear. Love it.
Yeah.
Um
So it goes on your turn, right? So we only have to roll initiative for you when we get to that.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's just come now, boy. Benefactor has given us purpose.
And a dog that makes a dog that makes a hairless Mexican Chihuahua breed mix look normal pops into existence. All right, so that's you.
We must fulfill our purpose.
Ario, this doesn't look like a stage fight. This
Since the lady in the bandages looks like a known cast of warriors from the need, I yell, "Tom colonist warrior lady, catch this rose, it will help you. We got a similar friend." And he throws his rose at the woman in bandages.
Okay, and what does that do?
And he's giving you his talisman, and
Okay.
the talisman gives the person who holds it I think 1d6 and a failed either attack or saving throw.
All right.
And I got also an warlock ability that can push an attacker, like I think it's 1d6 of psychic damage.
Okay, so you throw the flower and
The
bam,
rose.
the rose. Zedna catches
Like
it.
tuxedo mask from Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Zedna reaches up and catches it between their fingers. They give you a short nod back to the other two. Say, I see. Guess one of your kin is responsible for this whole thing, this whole situation. And you, do you, in my head, you tuck it behind your non-existent ear, Zedna, maybe just sticking out of your hood, maybe. And what is your one thing? Yeah, just right here, this beautiful red rose to go with your red and black armor underneath the hood for now. Perfect. And what is your one thing that you would like to do before we roll initiative and go to town? So now we use one of your spell slots to cast Armor of Agathis. Oh, yes. Brilliant. All right.
Classic.
Yeah, so just... and you're covered in a protective sheath. In that, at that moment, if everyone would be please so kind as to roll me some initiative.
Yes,
You hear
sir.
the through the trumpets
I got
again.
a 9.
9.
17. And the bone of the talisman is you can add a d4 to a failed ability check.
Okay.
3 times
All
a
right.
day.
So, with that, the first actor is you rolled the 15. Perfect. So, out of the gate, first thing, they were the first ones out of that gate. The one that looks like the Roman soldier drops their spear and just marches towards you. For the just for this, they're not going to get you. There's I mean, it's a big stadium, right? It's going to take a while. So he marches forward. So that's their action for this turn. Then you see them stop and brace themselves. So they're defending. Next is Ario.
Arya would he's not very good at fighting. All his spells are like illusion spells, runaway spells,
Yep.
and things like that.
Even your camera has gone into dazzle mode to show us that.
My camera is an actor as well.
Yes.
So he would try to maybe he would cast spider climb on himself.
Okay.
And try to walk on the Colosseum to have a good place to shoot on the future turns, and he would take out his very tiny gun made by smart threads that he has hidden in his sleeve
Okay.
on a spring. And
So it's an action to cast a spell, right?
it's an action to cast a spell, then movement
Then,
to.
and what I'm thinking is the original Colosseum had large wooden poles around the performing area that had the big canopies hanging on them. So you could walk up one of those. So
taking out the gun.
yeah, and then pulling out the gun and getting ready to shoot. Perfect. All right. Next, the knight. They frankly look a little uncomfortable off of their mount. You can see that the armor is not really designed to walk in, but they're walking slightly behind the hoplite in front of them, and you see them doing that thing where you sort of shaking your armor and making sure your shield is set and banging your sword against your shield and getting hyped up. But they also have not yet arrived. Zedna, you're next. They are in range. We're not going to worry about ranges today for this game at all. Magic, it never made sense to me. If I can see it, I can zap it. That only makes sense. But just slowly walk towards them. Yeah, an intimidating gesture. Yep, absolutely. Just this raven image, big, huge bird on the massive shield. Use your bonus action for Blessing of the Raven Queen, which does, yep, lets you teleport up to 30 feet. Perfect. Okay, I think I know where this is going. Until the start of your next turn, you have resistance to all damage. Wow, okay. So, tell me, oh dearest Zedna, where do you teleport to? Armored of Agathist up to the eyeballs, right into the knight's face. Just so right after the front guy and right into the knight's face. Okay, and then take a swing. Absolutely, with your great sword. All right, this huge obsidian blade starts to move way faster than anybody should be able to move it. What's your roll to hit? That'll do it. Yep. Absolutely.
Level 6. Wow, that's 28.
Yeah, just smashes. It would have been a nat. That's okay. Still, 28 smashes into them. Where do you hit them? I know I'm asking lots of questions. I'm that kind of GM. I know you have to type, but I'm not going to. You're going to have to answer because I want to know. Where did you hit them? Went for a swing right at their midsection. Okay, so yeah, it just, you see the plate that you hit just folds in. Some of the rivets pop out. How much damage did we do? $18 points of damage. Oh, so yeah, the blade just goes in. You can see the metal doesn't. Oh, amazing. So just slams into them. There's pieces. You would think the obsidian blade would shatter, and it kind of does. There's little splinters that come off of it and go into them, causing extra damage, but it doesn't damage the blade. One attack per round, or do you do something extra? Sorry if there's a background noise. My steering wheel keeps moving, and I've got notes taped to it, so it's kind of weird watching my notes spin in circles. But sorry. Thirsting blade, so you get an extra attack. There we go. I knew there was something like that. So you kind of pull it out of the gushy metal, rear back, and have another go. 17, just you swing, they step back, and just the tip of your blade just goes squeak through their armor. How much damage? 12 more damage. All right. Oh, I know why there's no, because I have the.
No, I hear you.
Oh, I think it's just the sounds that aren't coming through. When I go scream, it's not coming through, or is it? I just have to turn on the
I
Music
don't
mode.
hear it.
Music
But
mode, yeah.
maybe it's my ears.
No, that's okay. That's Zoom. Anything that isn't the voice, it tries to get rid of. So I just have to quit screeching. You can hear the noise. Okay. So yes, just the first one slams and shatters all the metal. The second one, as you pull back, they almost fall down. The second swing just goes right across them. That nails on a chalkboard sound, but it leaves behind a gash across their armor. They're still standing, but they are definitely taken aback, shall we say. That was bonus action and movement. So yeah, that's the end of the turn. That is a very effective first turn. That is a Warlock Pact of the Blade in action, folks. Right behind you, though, you hear the Queen of Hearts shrieking and screaming, and she charges towards you, and her scepter, she drops it, and the ball sort of moves back and rests against her hand, and it turns into a lance. A very sharp, pointy, nasty looking lance that looks like if it hits you, it's really gonna hurt. And because I'm rolling real dice, I'm gonna roll my fancy dice. My three-dimensional, hollow, numbers only fancy dice that some wonderful players, one of whom is present today, bought for me. So, Zedna, you have resistance to all damage this round anyway, so I don't feel as bad. 18 plus 5, that's a 20,
They are very pretty dice, yes.
23 to hit. I'm going to presume that probably, yeah, that's it. That's a hit. All right. That is one of those.
And because there's resistance to all damage, we should just have that before.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you the whole number, the whole thing, and then I'm going to tell you how, like, so when it slams into you, it feels like, I mean, it hurts. It feels like some ribs broke. They actually rolled 12 points of physical damage and 3 points of fire damage, but that's all going to be halved. So yeah, it feels like it should slam into you. And it feels like it should hurt, but it kind of just goes past you. A lot of it just kind of goes through you, like you're not there, and you can feel your patron inside you going, "There might be a benefit or two to me being here." And so you only take half. So instead of 12 and 3, instead of 15, take 7 points of damage. And that's it for her. She's shrieking and screaming, and now she looks down at you and sees it only does half damage, and she points at you and screeches out, "Burn the witch!" It's just plain rude, yep. We have a professional adventurer on our hands, folks.
I was expecting you with her head.
Rome! The fight's on. What are you doing? You didn't even
Rome
want to be here. That's right, yeah.
Rome just gives like a nice pat to creature 35
yeah.
and goes and kind of go and just kind of goes, "Daddy needs you to do some work," and just sends the creature off.
Yep.
To firstly screech maddening whispers.
Okay.
Into the Queen of Hearts.
All right. What's the save?
Which is a DC of 15 for wisdom save.
Wisdom? Nope.
So a creature affected by this frightened status is driven to madness and will attack the closest target in sight, friend or foe, as long as this doesn't require moving closer to creature 35. And
okay.
Creature 35 will move as close to Zedna as possible to help out with this.
Okay.
A creature affected by this ability can repeat the saving throw whenever they take damage, or at the end of the turn, ending the condition on success. The creature passes a saving throw, or once the condition ends for any reason, the same creature cannot be affected by this ability for the next 24 hours.
All right. So I get you to remind me of that when I say they do this. You can say no, they don't because of this. You can keep track of that.
Yes, I'm doing my best. I have a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Doing this all on pen and paper too, and it's been a long time since I've run D&D. So that was your Yeah, that's
Oh no,
them.
that was the
That's them.
that was the bonus action.
Yeah,
Because
better not-
it's multi-attack.
Yep.
Creature 35 can use its frightening presence or maddening whispers. It makes then a number of attacks equal to half its spell level rounded down, which means they can make one extra attack.
Okay.
Which means I can do Smoke Blast, where creature
Yeah.
35 exhales a cloud of smoke infused with the energy of the primordial arcana in the 30-foot cone in front of it.
Okay.
Each creature in range of the cone must make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so queen and king, or turn around and get the knight and.
Oh, I'll do
The hoplite.
Queen and King.
Okay.
Because that's
Okay, and what's the
that
save?
seems more fun. The save is 15.
And again, wisdom? Or
Wisdom, yes.
Okay. Oh, she makes it. He does not. So she saved, so she's unaffected then?
She saves. No, she takes 2d8, whereas
Okay.
no, she takes half of 4d8, and the king takes a full 4d8 psychic damage.
All right. So roll
But the
that
king
for me.
becomes blind. The queen remains visionful.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, give me damage for the queen, and we should be good.
Okay.
Or give me the 4d8, and I'll apply
yeah,
it to.
that's-
I'll half it for the queen.
So that's 29.
Oof. Okay.
I rolled 2 8s, a 6, and a 7.
So that's that. And she takes half of that. Which takes her to there. Okay. And he is blinded. All right.
And
So
the king, of
that's-
course, the king is blinded. The queen is still able to see.
Yep.
Also, creatures blinded in this way have their movement speed reduced to 0 feet.
Yep.
And creatures who were frightened by creature, but that's not. I did maddening, not frightening presence. So yes.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I get to do a thing.
Yes.
That's not all control. And I'm gonna be really boring and just cast an Eldritch Blast using my gnarled hand staff
At whom?
at the queen.
At the queen. Okay. And what?
And
would...
at the end, and then at the end of that, she gets to take another.
Nothing boring
she gets
about the
to-
classics. True. Yeah. All right.
But
So
at
yeah,
that, she
if
does
you
get to.
if you hit and do damage, they'll get a save. So what color and what look is your? What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
It looks red, almost, but like coated in black almost.
Okay.
Like you can see red light in it, but it's clearly surrounded by a darker sort of lighting.
I see a red blast and I want to paint it black.
Essentially, yeah. It looks like the same steam coming off of him.
And you're at level 6, so you've got 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
So I got a 15.
Okay. The first one shatters past them. Does not make contact.
Okay.
But you've got 2,
and
so,
then-
yeah.
Yeah. Give me one more. And a 16.
16. So again, 16 does just barely hit. That makes sense. So one is like, and the other one in her shoulder. Damage for me?
10 damage.
10 damage. And that's to the queen. Yeah, she was all the way off her rocker before. This is full-blown raving madness now. It's just looking for something to attack.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think that's it for you, right?
Pretty much. It just comes with the thank you, benefactor. My purpose is clear.
And then it's finally the king's turn, and you hear him say, "Although I see not, I know I inspire loyalty in my subjects." And he bangs his thing on the ground, and there's a flash of light around his queen, and she's inspired for her turn. But that brings us all the way back around to the top of the order, and our 10 of spades, our foot soldier, who's the fight's like behind him now. He turns around to look, he turns forward, and in front of him is still Rome and Ario, right?
Ario is up on.
Oh, you're up on the wall, so that makes it
Oh,
easy.
no,
Yeah.
yep.
The only one that's still ahead of you is Rome. So yeah, he drops his spear. Actually, probably literally drops his shield, grabs his spear with both hands, and charges at you. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and 8 points of damage from that, but he gets 2 more attacks.
Okay.
A 20 and a nat 20. So,
You want to call me dead now or call me dead
nope,
later?
seven for the first one, and then 8 more for the
15.
second one. So, yeah, total of 23 altogether.
23.
All 3 hits. Yeah, and that's with the crit. So yeah, he just charges forward, just like he's like I said, he's standing shoulder to shoulder with all of his friends. He's not defending in any way. He's just stabbing at you madly.
Yeah. This does allow me to Hellish Rebuke, though.
Oh yes, it does. Yep.
So I Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah. What is the?
He has to make a dexterity
save.
saving throw of 16.
Oh. Nope. What do you say to
So
him?
he takes 20.
I know he gets wrapped in fire, but what do you say to him? Because hellish rebuke is to say something. So.
I'd prefer it if you didn't.
Okay. And what's the damage? You said 26?
24.
24. Okay. It's just so yeah. He stab. He looks up. What? And then it's just this sort of withering effect that he just as it burns down his soul.
And that's all my spell slots.
Yeah, you're done. Halfway through the second round.
too.
Ario. Warlocks are fun.
So we
Now it's just Eldritch Blast.
thought that the gun was supposed to be like a sling because you said a crossbow, but I got a sling equipped.
Sure. Okay.
So I just attacked with a sling because it's a very miniature gun with bullets the size of a pinky finger.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a sling. And he would say, I'm all over not a fighter, but I will try to help. And he would shoot the 10 of spades.
Okay. And yes, thank you for reminding us. Kalina Zedna is at full health because the armor of Agathis has stopped that from. Yeah, there we go. So perfect. Yeah, there would have been a whole bunch of damage, but and that also does cold damage, right?
17 to hit.
So let's do that. Okay. And who are you attacking, Ario?
The knight, the 10 of spades, the one that was hitting him so hard.
Perfect. Thank you, Zedna. Damage applied to the queen that you were fighting. Or you were fighting the... Yeah, you were...
The queen,
You were fighting the queen, yeah. I got you, yep. All right, and so what? Sorry, what was how much damage?
So is 17 hitting the knight?
Just barely, yeah.
Okay, so I will roll the damage. Okay, and the damage is 4.
4.
So not very good.
That's okay. I mean, it's it's.
As I said, I'm not a fighter.
It hits and it does that divot in the armor thing. It's gonna be like really, really nasty bruise, and it's gonna be really uncomfortable to take that armor off if he's still alive after, because it's kind of dented between the ribs. But yeah, it didn't do a whole lot of actual damage. But
definitely, it tracks. And that's my turn.
That's it. All right. Next is that knight. He looks up at you. For a second, he reaches for his back like he's looking for another weapon, and then his hand passes through empty space, and he realizes he doesn't have it with him. So he grabs his sword again and has 2 swings at... Well, you're right there. He spins around to protect his queen, so he's going to attack Zedna twice. First attack is a 16 to hit. Not with the armor on, right? Okay. And the second attack is... Oh dear. The second attack is a natural 1. So they swing and then fall into you. I'm going to give you... they fall into your armor and take the damage even though you didn't actually hit them. So it's not reflective damage, but they're going to take the 15 points of damage from that. Does that make sense? As their fail? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, they fall into you in this sort of weird, almost like a weird metallic hug, and you feel all of their armor start to freeze shut. It's just not your day today, is it? You whisper into the rapidly freezing eye holes of the knight's helm. He's not doing well. He's like looking like he might hit the deck in one or two more hits. But that's him for the round. Zedna, you got the jack of clubs here. You got the queen of hearts here. She's crazy, absolutely buggy. What are you doing? The knight is almost down. The jack is almost down. Just in case you wanted to split your attacks. Bonus action, you're going to use your last spell slot. Yep. I love warlocks. It's like you guys are done. Second round's 2 rounds. You can go like hell and then you're done. Spirit Shroud. Okay. What is the effect of that? If you can copy paste it somewhere, we can read it rather than having to have you type it all out. But what I will ask is, what is the save and who is it on? If there is a save. Oh, it's just a buff. Okay, to you. All right, never mind then. No saves. Never mind, it's for you. I thought Spirit Shroud sounded like something you would cast on somebody else, but okay. It's a buff to you. In that case, I don't need to know what it does. You just tell me when I apply damage or whatever. You can say, nope, it's this, or yes, it's that, and we can take it from there. So, you cast Spirit Shroud on yourself. Okay. That's your bonus action. For your action, yep. Swing with the great sword against. Dun, 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 dun. Who's getting it? The queen or the jack? Prioritizing the one you started with, so the queen. Perfect. Yep.
The jack.
Oh yeah, what was it? Yeah. Well, it's a 13th. No matter who it was, that one missed. You have a second swing, right, because of your ability? Or is that only if you hit? Boy, it's been a long time since I played 5e. It's just extra attack, basically. Okay. An 18 hits. How much damage? And this is to the jack again, right? You're going to finish the job? He's almost done, so... $11 slashing, and you get an extra 1d8. Okay. I want to see how much extra this does. Go ahead. Too cold. All right, so you smash into them with that sword again. You drive them to their knees. They kind of, you can see the helmet sort of looks up at you, and through the eye slits, you can see their eyes. You can see the life fading and fading and fading, and then it's like, in my mind, it's kind of like twisting the throttle on a motorcycle. It's just sort of, and there's this little flash of cold damage that goes down the blade, and that finishes them. You can see it just, and you're gonna push the frozen enemy over. Perfect. They freeze solid. They fall over and they smash into 1,000 pieces of ice, and a playing card left on the table. They're left on the floor in front of you. The jack of clubs. The queen is here. Right here. You landed right between the two of them. Anything that starts its turn? Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Yep. Aggie. Good old armor. Aggie's armor again, right? Its speed reduced by 10 feet. Okay, yep. Perfect. They can't get any closer than you, and they can't really go away either because of the frightened thing and because of this. Yeah, the queen is basically frozen. Oh, I can't. It's it's like putting a straitjacket on somebody that's just right at the peak of their crazy. Right? It's just like they're just gonna explode.
Are you closer to the king or closer to the queen?
The queen's just
or closer
behind
to
him.
Zedna, I mean.
Who? You? Or
No, the queen. Is Zedna closer to them, or is
Yes.
the queen closer to the king?
Zedna and the queen are right side by side. The king is about 3 or 4 yards back, 3 or 4 meters back.
Okay.
From that. So yeah.
Then I'm sorry.
So yeah,
because my maddening whispers don't help.
The queen is just, and it's like her feet are stuck to the ground, then she's walking through the frozen ice. Yeah. So I think that's it for you. The queen is next. She's just going to attack. Yeah, nothing really else she can do. Zedna, you're the only one that's closest. So 18. Does she have disadvantage because she's no? She just has slow movement. So matches. Okay. I just rolled the second one. The second one missed. So the first one does.
It tends to go tie to defender, actually.
I like this. Yeah. Yeah, it does, and I realized that as I rolled the damage. This is perfect. Yeah. We're gonna go with the defender in this case because she reaches out with one hand and misses with just like claws like a beast. The second hand reaches out and it grabs kind of your hood and your armor on your face, and you can feel this psychic energy trying to get in and trying to just get into your mind and make you doubt and make you fear and make you panic, but you just brush it off. You don't need your patron's help with this. It's just no, not happening. And they fail to damage you. Rome.
So the king.
And Rome is in Rome, by the way, so just
yeah. When in Rome.
Personal space lady. Thank you. Sedna. Yep. When in Rome, do as the Romans. Choppy choppy.
Yeah. So creature 35 is actually going to jump forward to attack the king.
Okay.
But first he's going to Frightful Presence.
Okay.
Everything within 60 feet
Then
must succeed on a 15. Oh, no, just anything within 60 feet and aware of it.
Okay. So I was going to
Must
say, you blinded him, so.
15 wisdom saving throw or become frightened for a minute.
So the king isn't aware because he's blind and...
Well, he is still aware that they're there, though. He just can't see them. But the king made... It works okay, because the king made his save, but the queen didn't. So, again...
Yes.
She's now trying to run away, but she's frozen in the same spot because of the Agathis armor, or no, because of the shroud effect. You guys really are trotting on it, but I mean, this is literally the tutorial fight, so you should be. So yes.
So the king is immune to that Frightful Presence for 24 hours.
Okay.
However, he's not immune to what comes next, which is a Devour attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a D20 plus. Oh well, I don't need to add the bonuses. I don't think, because it's 24 to hit with the bonuses.
Yeah, and who is it your attack? That's the king again.
The king.
Okay, absolutely. Yes. Okay, so 24
and
hits.
I only need to be able to. I hit him with a 2d8 plus 6.
Yeah.
Plus an additional 4d8 because he is currently under the effects of Smoke Blast.
Right. Okay. So give me
6d8 plus 6 makes 32.
32. Wow. Okay.
And this is Devour, so just tendrils of horrifying eldritchness comes in and just wraps around him, and teeth bear into him for the first bits of damage, and the rest of it is necrotic.
Just like me going through a Toblerone, just all the way down. As the last part goes in, you see that you saw it with the jack before. It explodes inside your familiar's jaw face area, and you see them chewing on the shards, almost like they're eating glass, and then and they spit out a playing card of the King of Diamonds that slides in a little pile of slime on the floor right next to the jack.
Excellent.
Dead.
And I'd normally regain hit points, but I don't need to regain hit points yet.
No, it wasn't damaged. Okay, that was the critter. Now it's you, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to look at the Queen of Hearts, and I know there's a
only thing
guy
that's
in
left.
front of me
Yeah.
that is currently attacking me, because there were 4. We've only dealt with 2 of them.
Oh yeah, the 10 of clubs is still there, so yeah. Well, the 10 of
So
spades,
even though
sorry.
the 10 of clubs is still there,
They're
10 of
damaged,
spades.
but yeah, they're damaged, but they're still there.
Yeah. I can't really jump out of melee range without inciting an opportunity attack.
Yep.
Yep.
So I just Eldritch Blast the Queen twice.
Okay. Go ahead, fire away.
19
Yep.
and a 19.
Yep.
For 6 and 10 respectively.
So just more fire just starts pouring into her. She's at that crazy state though where she doesn't even notice. It's just like chunks are flying off, her robes are on fire, her hair is on fire, her crown's all askew and sort of melting down over one ear in a weird Salvador Dali effect. Still just screaming and yelling at the stars. Not any. There's nothing. There's no mind left. It's just rage.
This is succeeding a little less than I was hoping.
And about 9 hit points. A lot of rage and about 9 hit points. Anything else?
He basically looks at the 10 of clubs and goes, "Please don't strike me again. I don't enjoy it."
Speaking of which, it is their turn. They attempt. Nope. That's 9, a 13, and a 10. No.
No, my AC is 15, which is lovely.
It's just you can see the futility, right? Just they're literally going through the motions, right? They
as a reaction, I just go, "Thank you for honoring my request."
Ariel. Everything I've got not to call you Speedway again, but
that's why I picked the name. That was the idea. Arya would use his movement to get closer to the around the rhyme to cast a command at the queen. He would go like, "I hate royalty, but I hate especially traitorous queens. Gravel before my might." And he would use his last spell slot to give the queen a command gravel. So she would have to go prone if my attack command succeeds.
Okay. What's the saving throw?
One moment, please. I'm gonna
should be a wisdom
try
save, right?
to roll my command. Did it roll or?
I haven't got a game open, so.
No.
Is it a roll or is it a save command?
It's
Not a wisdom save?
It's a wisdom save. 15.
Okay. And what's your DC?
My mistake.
Yep. What's your spell save DC?
15.
15. Okay. You command them to lay down, and at first, it's like yelling at a tornado. Like there's nothing there to yell at. There's tremendous power, but there's no mind. But somehow, I know how, you repeat yourself. But speaking to the back of the arena this time, to the last person in the cheap seats at the back, as you've been taught to enunciate and pronunciate and ejaculate your words.
Power.
Yeah. And you use the
I noticed that. I don't know.
The full extended arm thing. Yeah. You say it again and you feel them lock. And it's just, you see them start to bend, and it's like watching a titanium bar bend because they don't. It's just sort of vibrates, and then shatters.
And he would yell, "Finish her now!"
And what falls to the ground is just a card. So the only thing left standing now.
And as a quick action, I would use prestidigitation to do a Mortal Kombat finish her. That's the voice.
Finish her.
And that's my turn.
Mortal Kombat! Sorry.
Zedna, the queen falls,
never been in a game,
shattered in front of you. You turn around and the only thing left is this hoplite, this minion, stabbing desperately at this gigantic robot who's being terribly polite. What do you do? We're in round 3, so I'm expecting to hear the words Eldritch Blast a lot more from now on.
Nothing wrong with the classic.
That was my favorite part about Guy. He never took Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Oh, got lost in the moment. Hey, fair. I'll take that as a compliment.
High five with the rail.
Zedna, you are surrounded by wreckage. There's all the blood and gore of a fight, but there's no bodies. There's just these cards laying on the ground. And you turn and do the slow motion walk towards your enemy. The camera does that low angle thing where you walk by and the camera goes as you walk by. Look at the rest, scan around the rest of the battlefield. The crowd, 20,000 strong on their feet. And they're repeating the phrase that Ario started. And it's just finish them, finish them, finish them. You want to do a test with one of your
Then one of their corpses.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. Tell me what you wanted to do. Well, you're gonna throw your greatsword at it. Perfect. Yeah. Just take a couple of steps and then woof. And it does that fly straight thing like they do in anime films. It doesn't rotate.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
With the arrows around it.
Yeah, and Zendaya was like, "Oh, they don't leave a corpse. I wanted to test a spell with one of those corpses. Oh well," and she throws the sword.
That's okay. That's a 28 to hit. Wow. Okay. Because that's such an incredible hit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say yes to your request. Your sword goes through them, just boom, right to the hilt. And the weight of it, because it doesn't weigh much for you, you can wield it one-handed, but it's got mass, and the weight of it carries them over and they land on their back. Normally, your weapon would just pop back into your hand, but it doesn't. You hear your patron's voice in your head say, "You wanted to try it? Try it. As long as you don't pull the sword out, the body will stay here." See, I am kind of useful. And you can feel them experiencing every moment of this. You walk over to the sword, you grab it, and you channel some of the fool's debris into the enemy to try and turn it into a new sword for yourself. You force that energy in, and the voice in your head starts to laugh. And when they get control of themselves, they say, you feel them bow in your head. "What would you have, my queen?" I'm liking the way a greatsword feels right now. But I want to make this work not just with my swings, but my spells too. How about extending my... I'm looking at this, is going to be interesting. Extending my packed weapon boost to my spell casting as well. Oh! So anything that would happen to the weapon, you could also add to a spell. Well, on one level, this game is very much a playtest. And I mean, it's your subclass, so it would be rude of me to say no. So, yes, tell us your intention. You want to create a new magic weapon that makes it so you gain a bonus to spell. Oh, I got you, to spell save DCs and spell attacks equal to your packed weapon. Yep. Invocation. Yep. That makes perfect sense to me. So yes, the voice in your head grins and says, "Like all my deals, I reserve the right to revoke it. But for now, yes. Are you done with that?" And you can see it kind of looking at the body. And your sword disappears, the body disappears, and the card with a sword cut right through the middle of it falls to the ground. The crowd goes nuts. Just and in the booth, in the Emperor's box, those flailing cards now you realize. Two of them, one stops, another one thunk sticks to the back of it, and they sit there together. A deck is being rebuilt every time you succeed. As you look at each other, you've got a moment. Ario, you're still halfway up the side of the building. The
He
other
would
two,
jump down and start
you jump
to
down. Poof.
take bows.
As you finish your last
for
bow,
honors.
the crowd throws flowers and coins and all these things, but it's ghosts of. By the time it gets to you, it's ghosts of roses, ghosts of money, and even that fades. The crowd fades. Even the Emperor's booth is once again empty as the three of you stand among the ruins. You've got a moment. I've been using the same order all night. Let's do it backwards. Zedna, you finally got a chance to look around and see these two. You've had this fight with them. Your packed weapon is back gone into you. What are your thoughts? Do you say anything, or is it just thoughts? And if so, what are they? I'm gonna let you type for a second while I check with one of the other ones here. Rome.
Creature 35, come here. Who's daddy's good boy? Who's
Yeah,
done a good job?
like a big
It's
stilty,
you.
like a big
Yes,
stilty
you
dog.
did.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, aren't you such a cuddly sweetheart? Ah.
And then from
And then just kind of almost like melts into me. It's
Yeah.
just being scritched.
perfect. And I have to jump back before I run out of space. Oh, you're gonna take your snap your wrist. The packed weapon disappears, and you walk up to the other two with a cheerful tone, saying, "You two didn't do so bad. This won't be as painful as I thought it was going to be." Rome, thump, at that moment, you suck doggy back into your hand and turn around. How do you respond to that?
Yes.
Ario, you stand up from the
Thank-
last bow. You hear that. You
Thank
didn't
you
do
very
so
much,
bad.
Miss Stump Colonist Lady. But next time I'm gonna give my rose to this strange metal clayman.
Yes.
He
yes.
needs it more than
A-
you.
And with that,
realize.
thump, the rose is back in your possession, right? Because you
Uh,
choose. Yeah.
If she gives it back to me, I
Okay.
would pass it on to Rom.
Yeah.
It's got some magic. It helps you.
Yeah.
I would put this. Thank you. I would put this behind my ear. But I don't have one of those.
Just tucked in one eye. Steam
He just
coming
like
out.
puts it like
all
like
droopy
like
flower. Yeah.
so he just like
Ario
puts
would
it
take,
on his little
some
lapel.
gum arabic
Uh,
and
It's a magic
on
flower.
your
It wouldn't wilt anyway.
Yeah.
But with that, you hear a strange, ghostly thunder. Except it's
Have people introduced themselves yet? I don't know who you
they
are.
haven't yet. We're gonna actually. I like that as the final panel. Have we introduced each other? I don't know who any of you are. Don't answer that. We flip the page to the final panel, or we cut away to the final scene of this particular episode, which is those same three figures sitting at the table. And the one who dealt the 3 cards reaches out and picks up the 3 cards off the table and puts them back in the deck and starts to shuffle. Says, I'm ready now. What was this foolishness about a challenge? That, as early as it is where we're going to drop the curtain on tonight. I know it was a short
I'm
actual
ready.
session, but it was a tutorial. So yes, that is where we will drop that with the 3 of you still standing in the the ruins of the Roman temple. Each battle will be fought in a different battleground because that's how these things go. But that was the first one. So, we still don't know each
You
other's
give me
names.
lots of kisses, I give you lots of kisses.
Yeah.
I don't have lips or tongue, but
Okay,
I give
so-
you lots of kisses. Sorry.
So the head instructor from the William Shatner School of Overacting, the coolest adventurer of all space and time, who's got a spare body hanging around and a part of a tarot deck stuck in their head, and Mr. Fuck It, Let's Kill Everything, have started. You're all working for
It
the
was
same.
great.
You're all working for the same godling, and the long goal. I guess at this point, probably only Zedna would know this. There's a feeling in your. I'm going to add this on. There's a feeling in your head, Zedna. The one that's in there says, "Finally, we're getting the band back together."
Blues Brothers.
So, with that, we will say I had a feeling you wouldn't be opposed to reunion. Yeah, absolutely. Why have one set of mortal eyes to look through when you could have 21 other sets of godling's eyes to look through as well? You could have at least asked first. Well, you guys get to teach the patron here some lessons in this. The opportunity is there for you to teach this patron something about being what they want to be. But as short as it was, that was intense. So thank you all.
It was very cool. Thank you very
It was.
much.
I think it was a very nice first session. The next session,
It was a fun
the
time.
fights will be bigger and longer. So we will take it from there. Yes, Kalina typing is working well. It's easy for me to remember to read it because it's right here in my face. And I did the skip away once. I think we're going to do that as much as we can. And it's a neat thing I learned. I can skip away, but I have to come back before Kalina starts their 6th line of typing, or it starts to scroll off the top of their screen and I can't see what they type. So it's going to be a cool timing thing for me. So this is a great way to wrap back to that 5 years thing, because one of the reasons that I think I can speak for we and this one, left that organization is because they did not share some of our beliefs. Everyone that wants to play gets to play. That means if you're in Poland and it's 4 o'clock in the morning and your camera sometimes doesn't work, you get to play. That means if after 5 years of being shy and afraid and worried that you weren't good enough, you finally said yes, and it was amazing, and you stole the scenes, and I love Zedna. Thank you, Kalina,
Zedna is
for
great.
making a 5.
Lot of
This is
fun.
not an understatement. A 5-year dream come true. I got you on stream. I'm ecstatic. Everybody that wants to play gets to play. And you can go and hide under there all you want.
And-
You can hide under that virtual bed all you want. I can
And
see
Kalina
you.
disappears.
I can see you. So thank
I
you.
kind of understand her because I still feel like I'm playing with rockstars. So
You've said that a couple of times, Don. That's just weird.
Yeah.
I keep telling people to take compliments well, so I'm going to say thank you, but that's
Yes.
weird. But thank you both. It's people like you. It's fans like you. It's people that have been with us before we were an us that reminds me every day why we're doing this. The 2 of you are now streamers. The 2 of you are now regular weekly streamers in
that was
online
super
games
fun.
with people that you probably never thought you were going to get to game with.
Yes.
So that's Dirty 20. Everybody that wants to play gets to play. That's the deal. But there's some other stuff too. because we did have one person that wasn't here tonight, which allows me to do the great segue into the other things that make us different than other groups. It's always real life first here. Always. Games second. Friends first. We're a community before we are gamers. If you join our Discord and get in there, you will see people helping each other every single damn day like they've known each other for 50 years. And this whole thing, this whole community is the thing in my whole almost 58 years now of my life that I am the most proud of. And that's because of people like you. So thank you, Brilchan. Thank you, hiding under the covers, Kalina. Thank you, Scarred, for going through what we've both gone through and what we've continued to go through all of this. Thank you all for making this possible. Thank you all for making this happen. Thank you, everybody in chat. So good to see some of you. It's been a while. It's been a very long time since I've seen several of you folks. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on the VOD, thank you for doing that. If you're watching this on YouTube, though, please hit the buttons, the thingies at the bottom, the thumb, and the subscribe and all that stuff. Do the stuff that doesn't cost any money, because it doesn't cost any money and it helps. Also, if you like this, please put a comment in there. Let us know how we did. This is a kind of an experimental game. 3, going to be 4 warlocks, all in a game again. The last time we did this, mayhem ensued, and I fully expect that to be exactly the case this time. Just a completely different kind of mayhem.
Just the right amount of warlocks.
Just the right amount of warlocks. There's no such thing.
No,
as
I feel like it should just be there can never be too many.
There can never be too many warlocks. But we're gonna do in 9 sessions. We're gonna put a patron back together again. So with that thought, and all the thank yous out of the way, can you come back for the last little bit, Kalina? It's the nice part. It's the part where I say the nice thing. Thank you. You know it. Actually, because it's your first time streaming with us, Kalina, and the first time we've had the ability to do this, would you do me the honors of typing the sentence into your chat, please? And I'll read it. And hello, Hitting Chickens. That's a great name.
Yes, that is a fun name. That was immediately what I thought.
Nasty hobby, but great name. You remember what it is? Oh, look at that! I love it. Your VTube avatar stood up taller and prouder. I love it.
Yes,
the chickens will fight back.
That's part of that game.
But until next time, yes. Until next time, for Kalina and for all the rest of us, make me proud and please be nice to each other.